What happens when a mysterious woman with military-grade precision shows up at a small-town shooting range and starts hitting impossible shots that even seasoned veterans can't make? Frank Sullivan, a 20-year Navy vet turned range safety officer, thought he'd seen everything during his years on stormy seas. But when this stranger in faded jeans and a pulled-down baseball cap starts threading bullets through targets at 500 meters like she's playing darts, Frank's gut tells him something's not right. Who is she? What's she running from? And why does her presence feel like the calm before a storm that's about to change everything at the coastal harbor range? Welcome to Thankful Tales. Together we make their courage live beyond memory. Bullet-scarred targets loom like ghosts in the mist. The air smells of gunpowder and sea salt, with waves crashing faintly from the harbor. The range. 12 lanes stretching across a damp, grassy field. Feels like home to Frank Sullivan, a Navy vet with 20 years under his belt. He's now the range safety officer. He stands in the control booth, sipping cold coffee, scanning the first shooters of the day, a group of local hunters, decked out in bright orange vests, laugh loudly as they ready their rifles. A kid, maybe 18, fumbles with ammo under his dad's watchful eye. An old retiree, silver-haired, checks his rifle with quiet focus, like he's stepping back into younger days. The morning feels calm, routine, but Frank senses something off, a gut feeling honed by years riding stormy seas. Then she walks in. A woman, mid-30s, faded jeans, gray jacket, baseball cap pulled low. She carries an old rifle case, nothing flashy. She picks the farthest lane, assembling her gun with smooth, practiced moves, like a dancer who's done this 1,000 times. Frank watches from the booth. Struck by her precision, every piece clicks into place. No hesitation. She starts shooting, peering through a scope. Every shot hits dead center, 500 meters out. Her breathing steady, a 4-beat rhythm: inhale, hold, exhale, fire. The kid pauses, whispering to his dad. Man, she's good. A burly hunter with a thick beard frowns. No badge? Who shoots like that? The old retiree glances over, shrugs, and goes back to his rifle. Unbothered. Frank steps out, his tone friendly but cautious. Morning. Ma'am, I'm Frank, range safety. First time here. The woman, Alexandra Hayes, looks up, her eyes calm. Steady. Yeah. First time, she says, her voice soft but firm. You need a badge, Frank says, pointing to the rules. She nods, digs in her bag, and hands over an ID. Alexandra Hayes, it reads. Listing a P.O. box, firearm permit, Frank asks. She shakes her head. Left it at home. The bearded hunter stomps over, voice tight. Frank, no permit. And she shoots like a machine. Something's wrong, the kid pipes up. Maybe she's an Olympian, the retiree mutters. Just a good shot. Don't make a fuss. Frank's Navy instincts kick in. Something's not adding up, but he's not sure what. I'll call the cops to check, he says, keeping his voice even. 20 minutes later, 2 police cars pull up quietly, lights flashing. No sirens. Officer Daniels, a friend of Frank's, steps out. What's going on? Frank, he asks. Frank nods toward Hayes, now standing by her car, rifle case packed. No permit. And some folks are uneasy, Frank explains. Daniels approaches Hayes. Ma'am, we need your ID and firearm permit. Hayes keeps her hands visible, her voice steady. I've got my ID, but the permit's at home. Daniels exchanges a look with his partner. Then we'll need you to come to the station. She doesn't resist. Her gaze drifts to the harbor, where Navy ships fade into the fog. Frank watches, a mix of curiosity and guilt swirling in his chest. He wonders if he's just stumbled into something bigger than this quiet range, something hidden in the mist. The coastal harbor sheriff's office squats low, its weathered walls bleached by salty sea winds. Inside, the wooden floor creaks with every step. The air's thick, stale coffee mingling with a trapped, heavy stillness. Flickering fluorescent lights cast a dim glow over a cluttered desk piled with papers. A police radio crackles in the corner, its static weaving with the distant sound of harbor waves, making time feel stuck, like it's caught in a loop. Chief Warrant Officer Alexandra Hayes sits in a holding cell, back straight, hands resting on her thighs. She was processed without a fight, but hasn't said a word. When asked her name, her address, she stays silent, her eyes calm, like the sea before a storm. Detective Marcus Wells, silver streaking his hair, stands outside the bars, frustration etched on his face. "Come on, ma'am. Give us something," he says, his voice tinged with exhaustion. "No name, no papers. We're just guessing here." Hayes meets his gaze, unflinching, her eyes sharp but not hostile. Deputy Sheriff Daniels, a big man, frowns deeply. "She's dangerous." Wells, "No ID. Unregistered gun, who knows what she is." He taps his fingers on the desk, tension in his voice. Nearby, Clara, an older janitor, mops the floor, stealing glances at Hayes. "She doesn't look like a criminal," Clara whispers to a coworker, her eyes soft with empathy. "I've seen plenty come through here. She's different." From a nearby cell, a drunken young man mumbles, "Probably just a mix-up." "Let it go." In the interrogation room, Jenkins, the public defender, his hair a mess, sighs heavily. "Miss Hayes, I need something to work with," he says, flipping through papers. "They're talking terrorism charges." Hayes stares at him, her expression steady, her mind elsewhere. She's back on the open sea, piloting an SOCR through crashing waves, delivering SEALs into danger. She recalls swimming 500 meters in 10 minutes, acing the brutal PST at Coronado. Her silence isn't fear, it's discipline, protecting the mission, even if it means being misunderstood. A rookie officer brings her a cup of water. As Hayes takes it, her sleeve slips, revealing a rope-burn scar from infiltration training. "That's a wild scar," the officer says. "Curious." "Mountaineering," she replies curtly, her voice soft but firm. "Burying memories of C-130 parachute jumps." The officer grins. "Must have been some climb." Hayes nods, her gaze drifting to the window, where Navy ships blur in the fog. Wells runs her fingerprints. Nothing in the system. The tech reports, federal database is down. "Try again tomorrow." Wells nods, but his eyes stay on Hayes. She doesn't feel like a criminal to him, more like a puzzle. Clara, still mopping, mutters. She's got the eyes of someone who's seen things. In her cell, Hayes counts the guards' patrol patterns, notes the exits not to escape, but out of habit, the instincts of a SWCC. She thinks of her team, the ones who relied on her precision at sea, and tells herself, just a few more hours, they'll come. Hayes sits, her breathing steady, her mind sharp. The cell feels small, but her world is vast missions, oceans, lives saved in the dark. She doesn't need to speak. Her silence holds the weight of secrets she's sworn to keep. The radio crackles again. The waves hum outside, and Hayes waits, knowing this is just a pause in a much bigger story. The Coastal Harbor Courthouse, built in 1887, feels frozen in time. Its wooden benches creak, the carved railings faded. The air smells of old paper and musty wood, mixed with the low hum of voices locals, Portland reporters, and a few suits standing quietly. Sunlight streams through tall windows, casting patchy shadows on the floor, adding to the tension, like the room's bracing for a storm. Judge Eleanor Harmon, a former JAG officer, presides from her high bench, her gaze stern. Chief Warrant Officer Alexandra Hayes sits at the defendant's table in an orange jumpsuit, next to Jenkins, her public defender, who flips through papers with weary frustration. "Your Honor, I request a continuance," Jenkins says, his voice shaky. "The defendant won't provide information." "I can't prepare a defense." Agent Thomas from Homeland Security rises. "We request the defendant be transferred to federal custody, suspected of security threats." An FBI agent cuts in. "The FBI has jurisdiction, Your Honor." Harmon bangs her gavel. "This is my courtroom. We proceed." The clerk reads the charges: unregistered firearm possession, refusal to identify. Hayes sits still, her eyes calm, like the sea before a swell. A silver-haired veteran whispers to his neighbor. "She's got the look of a soldier, a reporter. Pen ready." Mutters. "Why all the secrecy? We need transparency." A local, Harris, scowls. "She's stirring up our harbor." The room buzzes, mirroring the town's divided heart. The heavy oak door swings open, hinges squealing, turning every head. Admiral Wilson strides in, his white uniform gleaming with medals. 2 officers trailing, his steps echo. Steady as waves, Harmon leans forward, curious. The Admiral hands a sealed document to the bailiff. Harmon reads, her face shifting from severe to pensive. Per Department of Defense orders, she declares. This case is transferred to military court due to national security. Civilian charges are dismissed. The courtroom erupts in murmurs. The veteran snaps to attention, eyes misty. The reporter scribbles, still skeptical. We need more answers. Harris shakes his head. They're hiding something. The bailiff uncuffs Hayes. She stands, her voice soft. Sir, I'm sorry for the inconvenience, the Admiral replies. Chief Hayes, the Navy owes you an apology. Hayes's mind flashes to a night in the Arabian Gulf, piloting an SOCR through pounding waves, aiding SEALs to stop a smuggler's ship. One teammate didn't make it back. The cost of duty. She hides the pain, her eyes briefly heavy. The Admiral continues. Chief Hayes led a SWCC team in Operation Silent Harbor, stopping a maritime attack, though it disrupted the local port. Harmon nods. I understand the need for discretion. Detective Wells, in the front row, watches Hayes. Realizing she wasn't hiding guilt but shielding a mission, the veteran whispers, She's one of ours. The reporter, still wary, jots down the story, caught in its complexity. Hayes walks out, her gaze sweeping the harbor, where waves carry memories of silent missions. She steps into the fog, free but bound by duty. The crowd's whispers fade, but the weight of her choices lingers. Hayes knows the sea doesn't judge it, just keeps moving. So does she, carrying the scars of nights no one will ever know. Her silence a testament to the lives she saved. Naval Station. Norfolk hums with life. Ships line the docks. Sailors move under a golden sunset. Waves lap gently from Chesapeake Bay, blending with the low rumble of engines, creating a quiet hum, like the base is whispering untold missions. In a small hall, dim lights glow on Navy flags. Chief Warrant Officer Alexandra Hayes stands tall, her white uniform gleaming with insignia. Admiral Wilson, his face weathered, steps to the podium, voice deep. For outstanding leadership in Operation Silent Harbor, thwarting a maritime attack on northeast ports, I present the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal to Chief Warrant Officer Hayes. As the medal pins to her chest, Hayes bows her head, eyes heavy with memory. Soft, heartfelt applause rises from a few SWCC teammates, reflecting the quiet nature of their work. Marcus Wells, now an NCIS agent, stands in the corner, eyes bright. She makes me want to do better, he tells an officer, recalling Hayes' arrest. I learned missions sometimes demand silence. A young sailor, new to SWCC, watches Hayes with awe. I want to be like her, cutting through rough seas. A civilian worker, wiping tables, shrugs. Just another ceremony. At Coastal Harbor's range, Frank Sullivan checks the lanes under moonlight, the faint scent of gunpowder lingering. A young woman, maybe 20, fires with stunning precision, her scope finely tuned. Frank approaches, voice calm. You shoot well. Ever thought about the Navy? She smiles shyly. Maybe. He hands her a card. Call this number. They need people like you. He thinks of Hayes, knowing the range is now a small link in a recruitment chain, in a dim base office. Hayes leans over a map, light catching her face. She recalls Silent Harbor, the night her SOCR sliced through waves, a teammate lost forever. We do it for them, she whispers. Prepping for Silent Harbor 2, a new sea mission. She doesn't chase glory, only the promise to those who fell. A local reporter, once skeptical at the trial, writes about the mystery woman, unaware of Hayes' true name. A veteran reads it, muttering, they're always there. But we don't see. A townsfolk, still annoyed by the port disruption, grumbles. They should have warned us. Wells, at NCIS, drafts protocols to coordinate with operatives like Hayes, determined to protect the silent ones. Hayes steps onto the pier, watching ships vanish into the dark, their lights swallowed by night. She thinks of the sea's guardians, unsung warriors, ever present but rarely noticed. Their legacy is the nation's safety, their names unetched in stone. She breathes deeply, the salty air a reminder of duty, and walks on. Ready for the next storm? This story's about more than one woman. It's about those who serve in shadows, carrying burdens we'll never know. Haze, Frank. Wells their threads in a larger tapestry, woven by sacrifice. Coastal harbor's quiet now, but its waves carry their echoes. Next time you see the sea, think of them, the ones who keep it safe. Thanks for sticking with this tale. It's not just a story, it's a glimpse into lives that shape our world. If it moved you, share it. Let others hear about the silent heroes. And hey, subscribe to the channel for more stories that stir the soul. There's plenty more where this came from.